This video briefly talks about what I did to study for the exam. So this was after I completed all 50 sessions in the log to submit in my application, and I put all my information and education. Once I completed all those components and submitted application, I had to study for the exam. Admittedly, I wasn't as consistent as I probably should have or would have liked. I've studied from my courses, of course. I've studied from the health coach manual book that was recommended from Mind Body Green when I took the course. I read over it, and then a lot of events happened along the way, though. Within some of the Facebook groups I've seen through health coaching, I joined one that was specifically those who are studying for the national board exams. So when I joined there, very luckily I saw that there were some study sessions that they will hold live online, like through Zoom, and recorded. It may have been maybe once or twice that I joined them live, but most of the times their live times didn't correlate with my schedule, so I was even more grateful that they had them recorded and saved in the group. So that's what I did that has really helped me the most with studying for the exam, because there were flashcards. I used that, of course, the content from my courses, that's always gonna be helpful as well. But there's nothing like having demonstrations of, okay, this is the question and the answer choices and how exactly you can approach thinking about the questions and how you're determining the answer, which at the end of the day, at least from what I gathered, and this has helped me take the exam much easier, it's not because this is an exam, they're looking for more like book answers, or what would be practically correct. Or let's say like question was like, I was like, what's A? And you're looking for A. You're not looking for like an answer that you would interpret correct, because that's when choosing an answer would be very difficult, because everyone has kind of a unique approach, depends on the situations. But for the sake of the exam, it's rather than looking for what you would think you would do in a certain session, you have to look for keywords that match. Like what, maybe it's not what you would do necessarily as a coach at that specific moment, but what would be like the most appropriate according to such and such. So like looking for clues in the questions that help you see like, okay, this answer would actually be the most appropriate for such and such, depending on the contents that the question is based on. So for example, like the questions that have to do with like the motivational interviewing, the different theories, and so forth. So in taking the exam in summary, it reminded me a lot of the practice questions that the study groups had shown, which I'm really glad about, because usually in exams I either feel like really hesitant, or I think I'd get the answers right and then I wouldn't for some reason. But in taking that exam, I actually felt like, and this was still in the midst of a lot of changes that had happened, so it was just a funny time that I took this exam, that I did feel I felt pretty confident, like, because there's times that I may feel kind of confident, but it's like, are you sure? This time was more like I felt pretty confident. I wasn't, even though I wasn't sure, I don't like to promise myself anything, but I, saying that I was pretty confident, like, I knew that it's like, okay, I should have done at least pretty well on it. I even finished the exam like a little bit earlier and made sure to look back on any marked questions that I put, making sure that I picked again the appropriate answer that the question itself was looking for, not trying to overthink it too much. Alright, thank you for watching.